Literally on this day, 1 week ago, I made a video breaking Ben Roethlisberger might be released by the Pittsburgh Steelers into 2021 NFL free agency, ! And boy, did you guys let me have it. Where are your sources, Mike? Stop clickbaiting us, Mike. What are you talking about? The Pittsburgh Steelers aren't letting Ben Roethlisberger go. I'm unsubscribing. You're a horrible YouTube channel. Yeah. Boy, did you guys let me have it. A whole 126 of you guys disliked out of 155,000 that viewed the video. And well, first of all, I would love it if the individuals that commented on my content took the time to actually watch the content. I spent a good hour compiling a bunch of information into a 10 to 12 minute sandwich for you to just sit down and get the information delivered straight to you before jumping into a conclusion that I'm just making stuff up, because I go days and days and days without uploading news content when there is no news. I don't necessarily need to create BS news in order to succeed on this platform. I have an NBA channel. I have multiple other ventures on the side that I don't really talk to you guys about, but I digress because we have an update on the entire situation. So if you remember in the video, I told you guys that there are a couple of variables to whether or not Ben Roethlisberger was going to get cut. And I even told you that there might be a deeper meaning to why the Pittsburgh Steelers even came out and said that we might release Ben Roethlisberger. Now, before we get to that, take some time to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe, and turn on our notifications. We're giving away 2 digital PS5s to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel, whether you're an old subscriber or a new subscriber. If you sub and turn on my notifications, you've entered for a chance to win a PlayStation 5. We're going to do additional giveaways on Twitter and Instagram, so I highly recommend you follow over there. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! Mike check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? So if you remember a week ago, because I understand there's some people that click, read the headline, and go away, which sucks because I think I delivered the information remarkably. I told you guys that there are times where a team will go to the media and say a specific thing to the media just so a player and his representation could get an adequate message. And well, last week, when the Pittsburgh Steelers came out and said, hey, we might need to move on from the Ben Roethlisberger era, I told you guys that that wasn't necessarily what they were going for. That wasn't necessarily plan A. Rather, it was just to deliver a message to Big Ben. Listen, man, you're taking a $40 million cap hit on our roster, and we were doing really well last year. They won 11 games in a row before the wheels started falling off towards the tail end of the season, and it was clear that Ben Roethlisberger isn't good enough to carry a team to a Super Bowl with that type of contract. But I do believe Ben Roethlisberger would be good enough to take a team to the Super Bowl if he took a gigantic pay cut for the final years of his career. You see, here's the thing about veteran QBs, and this is why their careers have been so prolonged lately. This is why Tom Brady has been able to play until the age of 45 or maybe even 50, when about a week ago, this would be absolutely impossible to do so. And it's the fact that, one, football isn't nearly as physical as it was back then. They've made some rules and implemented some rules to protect the quarterback. But on top of that, when you get to a specific age as a quarterback in the NFL, yes, physically you might be on a slight decline. I've seen Tom Brady throw ducks. I've seen Ben Roethlisberger throw ducks. And God knows how many ducks we've seen Drew Brees throw. It literally looks like he's giving his entire energy and effort to throwing 8 to 10 yard passes now. It's really tough to watch because Drew Brees was a remarkable deep throwing QB in his heyday. But with 16 years of NFL experience, especially if you've been able to play at the high level that Big Ben has been able to play during those 16 years, in addition to the fact that he won those 2 Super Bowls out of the 3 trips to the Super Bowl that he's already made, there's one thing that a veteran quarterback has that most younger QBs may not have, unless if you're Patrick Mahomes, and that is the ability to dissect defenses And that's something that Ben Roethlisberger could do at this stage of his career. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers provided us a huge update in regards to whether or not Ben Roethlisberger is going to return. And you didn't really have to be some sort of general manager genius to realize that the Pittsburgh Steelers want Ben Roethlisberger to come back, but they wanted him to come back in the right context of things. They didn't want to pay him a gigantic amount of money for him to come back and for them to just barely make it to the playoffs and then break down in the playoffs for you to see Urinating Tree completely break down during a live stream. Sorry, Yinzer. And in this situation, I'm sure Ben Roethlisberger also realizes that he has tremendous leverage over the Pittsburgh Steelers, in the sense that the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have a good succession plan for Big Ben. If Big Ben was to retire right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers could even spend a late round draft pick on a rookie QB, and it might take some time for that rookie QB to develop. Or they could choose between the likes of Dwayne Haskins and Mason Rudolph, which isn't ideal either. But after making $225 million throughout his career, there comes a point when you're a quarterback in the NFL where I'm assuming Ben Roethlisberger decided to take a step back and say, hey, look, if I take a good pay cut and the Pittsburgh Steelers could go out and find me Juju Smith-Schuster's replacement, because we know the Steelers aren't going to bring back Juju. Find me some more defensive help. Get J.J. Watt on the roster to team up with his brother T.J. Watt. Maybe go after Richard Sherman to make sure that the players on the defense are going to be held in check and that there's a vocal locker room presence in addition to J.J. Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick and Bud Dupree. Or maybe get Ben Roethlisberger a replacement because Marquise Pouncey just left. I'm sure Ben Roethlisberger also realizes that a pay cut could potentially help him, and I know this is going to be super bold, so don't completely kill me in the comment section for saying this. I'm not a Steelers fan, by the way, but could potentially get him in a situation where he goes down in the NFL record books as a top 5 QB of all time because of his success in winning Super Bowls. Super duper bold take, I understand. Now, let's get to what the Steelers officially said. And this comes from the Steelers president, Art Rooney, in regards to Ben Roethlisberger and his standing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It says, Ben Roethlisberger and I met yesterday morning, and we had a productive meeting. We were able to discuss a lot of things that relate to where we are and where we want to go. Ben assured me that he is committed to coming back to help us win, and I told Ben that we would like to have him back to help us win a championship. We both understand that the next step is to work out Ben's contract situation. That $41 million cap hit is a pretty gigantic one. He could easily take a pay cut and take the veterans minimum, which would put his cap hit to $23 million. This also would give the Steelers an opportunity to potentially draft Ben's replacement in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft and not necessarily be so desperate about it. If Trey Lance falls to their laps in the latter part of the NFL draft, then great. Maybe Mac Jones falls to their laps, even though they said that his floor is 8th overall recently. Who knows? All in all, this is a huge win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially if Ben Roethlisberger decides to take a pay cut. This could be the difference between potentially winning a Super Bowl and once again being a early playoff exit. So let me know, Steelers fans, what you guys think about Ben Roethlisberger returning. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.